I'm George.
And I'm Alex.
We've been making puppet videos on my YouTube channel for years now.
But we have a problem.
We never had much of a plan for our characters.
And to a newcomer, it can get confusing very fast.
So in this podcast, we're going to make sense of the story we were just stringing along.
Hello listeners, welcome to the first episode of Stringing It Along, the podcast where I, Alex, and him, George,
Hello?
we revisit a series of videos we made mostly for his YouTube channel called Pookerly. Yeah, Pookerly, if you're feeling a bit confused about the spelling. These videos, they star rubber dinosaurs and puppets and stuffed animals that we would have otherwise packed away into an attic probably as we were growing up.
So the release schedule for this podcast is going to be every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. And for the first few episodes, while we're covering our first series, they're going to be daily. And during our time, we'll be doing bonus episodes every now and again that might not be on our normal release schedule.
Podcast episodes are recorded about 3 weeks ahead of publishing, so if you have opinions on a specific video, it'd be best to get your comments into stringingitalong@gmail.com before then, so we can read them out on that video's podcast episode. We're all done with the intro now, George. We're off the cuff for the rest of the
That
session.
was the only fully kind of scripted-ish part of this podcast, so yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be stringing it along for the rest of the episode. Am I right? Am I right? This is Jurassic City episode 1. This is the episode we're breaking down this week. I'll give you some details on it, okay?
All right. Yes.
This is Jurassic City episode 1. It's called The Robbery! ! This first episode of Jurassic City, as it's a multi-part series, it was published on Saturday, the 16th of June, 2018. And it's where our puppet adventures begin.
Wow, that's inspirational.
I've got some notes on the day if you want to hear that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I did some looking and I found a photo from that day which shows we went go-karting.
Did we?
Yeah, I looked Saturday 16th. Hopefully that isn't revealing too much about us. Like, I'm kind of stalking myself.
Oh my gosh.
But, I wasn't sure if we did that before or after we filmed this. I'm guessing we probably recorded it beforehand, maybe even the day before. I wasn't going to use a sketchy website to find out when exactly we uploaded this. So, one more thing about the details of the video. I didn't actually get the view count or anything, but it's clearly been updated since we wrote it originally. There's some nice lines between the segments, you know? Mm-hmm. Do you want to look up how many views it's got?
Yeah, I'll do that. So the video's actually got 102 views as of recording this right now, which is surprising. I didn't know that. And they kind of all go less from then on, but still 102 on the very first episode.
I'd imagine that's people, or really just ourselves trying to start watching the videos over from the beginning.
Probably,
again.
yes.
Yeah, because we've tried to do this a few times before and it's not really come out great, you know? Even this playlist, it was assembled basically in what we thought was the right order. So if you watch it yourself and you notice a kind of continuity error, shall we say, then you should tell that to us and we can change the order around, hopefully, without messing everything up even more.
Also, a little pop quiz for you. What do you think's the most viewed episode in the Pookerly storyline on this playlist? What do you think? Have a guess. At the time of making this.
Oh, would it be Doggo as a Reporter, part 1?
It was, yes, 186 views.
Whoa, I was imagining that. Because I'd say that, I say that because it was your channel trailer for a while. So anyone who clicked onto your channel who wasn't subscribed would just have it play.
Yeah.
Probably has terrible audience retention because of that.
Yeah. There's also some close contenders as well, like Jurassic City 2, Episode 1. That's going to be very later on in this series. What else? There's also Where's Everybody Gone?
152, that's pretty good.
That's surprising. I think there's one more that's got over 150. I think. Nope, that's it. So three things.
So, shall we get started on the content of the video itself?
Yes.
Let's start this off at exactly 0 seconds in. We've got a logo for Jurassic City, and it was drawn...
On the whiteboard.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I did the lettering, I think, and houses and the circle, but I remember you did the dinosaur illustration.
The skeleton, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best, but listen.
And actually, I noticed later on we had the Jurassic City theme song on the TV in the background.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if we did that either to remind you of the music or to get like the dinosaur illustrations you could draw from it.
I'd see the one, but like, yeah.
Yeah, we might have done for both.
Yeah.
The markers you had for that whiteboard, they were pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
I think like before that, I always liked using whiteboards, and I was always like, my mom works in a hospital, and I was like, can you get more whiteboard markers? Just like steal some, and I was like, yeah, because I didn't buy any, and like, yeah, basically that was it.
One more thing to note about the intro is the little kind of wind down you did at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
We can play a clip of that. You should insert a
I will.
clip of the.
You'll
theme
watch
song.
it right now.
I was kind of obsessed with that kind of sound, you know? Like it was used as a gag a lot in Britain's Got More Talent, which was like my favorite show at the time.
Yeah.
It's just Stephen Mulhern goofing around with the contestants that clearly weren't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We did that as well in our single Irish language video on Pookerly.
Oh yeah. That's not in the playlist? It is. No,
No.
it's not.
There's no puppets. Actually, there is a puppet, but it's not canonical.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe it's a bonus episode in the future. Something I'd like to ask you is about the name Jurassic City. I remember at the time you were saying that there was a movie with the
I
same
think there
name.
is still.
Yeah.
It's like a really like not unheard of movie, but like yeah.
Have you actually seen it, or did you just
No.
find it because you looked it up?
I'm pretty sure I just
Yeah.
looked it up and it was apparently a movie.
We were trying to make sure we would stand out in terms of keywords, but
Yeah.
we didn't bother coming up with a different title. Let's move on to the beginning of the action. Okay?
Yes.
The first shot in the Pookerly universe, George, what is it?
Ooh. The first shot
Apart
Is
from the
the- is-
whiteboard.
is Gertrudosaurus or Fionosaurus. I can't remember which one, but they're both walking around. They're walking, and eventually they bump into each other.
Yeah.
And they apparently knew each other or something before that. I don't really know. Apparently, because like they were always together in every other video, and now they're not. They just bump into each other. So I don't know.
Later down the line, we'll see them living together, but I don't know if they do that at the moment. I wouldn't say so, because it seems like a bumping in thing and that they actually hadn't seen each other for a while, because after they bump into each other, Fiona, or is it Gertrude?
Either one.
Yeah,
They look
one of
very
them.
similar.
I can't remember now. We haven't got the clips with us. We can play a clip, actually.
I was just out doing my shopping. Okay, that's nice. Do you want to go for dinner together? Oh, sure. That'll be lovely. Okay, let's go.
Here.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
one of them invites the other out to dinner.
Yes. We could say that they're like siblings or something, maybe, because they look very similar, but not like too similar. You can like one like Gertrudosaurus has like a lighter skin tone or something.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense. There you go. That's some filling in the lore for you. That's what this whole podcast is about.
So they're siblings.
Yes,
And we can include that in our continued storyline.
exactly. So what's next?
You know, it probably is suitable, they're siblings, because in the video they are humming the same tune.
Yes. So they probably have some
They're
more.
connected.
Yes, exactly.
But we're not siblings, as some people might.
Before anyone suggests that, we're not.
One thing I wanted to say about their meeting was the first ever example of the voice actor switching, and we're only like 22 seconds into the video now.
Yeah.
George, you take on the role of Gertrudosaurus. I think she's the lighter.
Just for like this first bit,
Yeah.
and then you kind of, I think officially you're the one who voices both of them.
Yeah, it's
But
on the Pookerly wiki. We've got a wiki, but it's not really terribly worked out. Hopefully
Yeah.
by the end of this podcast we'll have an incredibly comprehensive lore.
Exactly.
That's our goal with this.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of like, we always kind of switch up every now and again with voices. Sometimes I voice like Tiffany. Well, no, not Tiffany.
Not Tiffany, no.
Like, so, like, we definitely alternate between the robber, who's a later character, who's coming up soon anyway.
Tiffany is another character coming up in another little bit. But for now, all we have met are Gertrudosaurus and Fionasaurus, and George takes the voice charge for a few lines when they meet. Even though I don't know if that's really necessary, because I think we might have sometimes imagined that the audience would be able to hear the sound from two characters coming from the same direction if both of us were speaking. But still, it doesn't really seem all that necessary.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
this was like the first ever series that we made apart from a non-puppet one. But like, yeah.
It's a little quirk of our puppet videos which makes it all the more special.
Exactly.
After they meet, they run along to the bus to go to dinner, and they sing, but they're arguing over who gets to sing.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I think before that they went to the ATM, did they not?
No, they go to the ATM after they go on the bus.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to the ATM in a bit.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
Fiona says she was out shopping, but she doesn't have any shopping, and she doesn't seem burdened by going to dinner with shopping. Like, she doesn't
Yeah.
suggest, I need to go home to drop off my shopping. I can't quite do the voice anymore.
Yeah, it's...
That's aging for you. In this argument, actually, I noticed it was probably a good idea to maybe have different voice actors for the two of them, because I couldn't really pick up at all on who was talking.
Yeah.
Like, it's, oh, stop it, Fiona! Oh, I'm singing this part.
And it didn't help that we were using really bad audio. Like, we were only using my tablet, and most of the time, if you watch the video or if you just listen to it, you can hear that it gets muffled so many times, because that was like, when you're using a tablet, we have to hold it with both hands on the side, and I'm pretty sure the microphone hole was just
On one side,
on one side, and like, I don't know why we didn't like purposefully not go, like, you know, block the microphone, but it would always just get muffled and stuff like that. So, and that was the case for like a lot of the first few puppet videos that we made. In years. Crazy.
They arrive at the bus stop, George, and I think you try and do a bit of a voice that's similar to the ladies. You're kind of like, oh, hello, ladies. Time to get on the bus.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of the go-to old woman like voice.
I didn't quite do it justice there. You should play a clip.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, ladies. Come on, hop in. I'll take you wherever you want.
We're inserting a lot of clips into this already, and we're not even a minute in.
Oh no.
This bus driver is incredibly unusual in that he's so enthusiastic in helping the ladies' cause. He's like, I'll take you wherever you want, and let's get off the bus.
Yeah, I know. There's no bus driver in the world that enthusiastic.
Those are two quotes from them. Like, a bus driver, he's got a route to follow, you know?
Yeah.
Can't go saying, oh, I'll just bring you out of the way.
Yeah, that's a bit suspicious, that is.
My next note is from after they get off the bus, you know? And I creep very noticeably into the back of the shot. Do you know the shot I'm thinking of?
I think so, yeah. Like, I don't know how we didn't... Well, like, we have to probably say this as well. We did have no editing, no nothing, no way to actually, like, cut out bits.
No.
We basically... How we filmed these episodes was...
How they went out.
But, like, what we had... You started recording on the tablet, and the only way you could stop the recording was with a pause button. And the only way to resume was to press unpause. We couldn't, like, you know... I don't know.
Record constantly and then pick the best bits, you know, like with this podcast.
Yeah, we couldn't do that, so it's like we had to get every shot perfect on the first time. Otherwise, we'd either have to be like, we'll deal with it, or start all over again the entire thing. And that was like that for the first years.
Yeah.
Before we had editing.
This is especially evident in the shot afterwards, or maybe it's another shot later, where I'm about to say something with, I think it's Gertrude, and I just put my hand up to try and tell George, stop.
Yeah. I know. I can remember that.
We could have cut that out of YouTube using the editor tool in the studio, but I think it's important to keep it there. You know? I think the reason that I said stop with Gertrude, I didn't actually say stop. I just put my hand away and shook it and said, kind of quietly to you. It's because Gertrude didn't really need to say anything there. I think Fiona just said something like, I need to go to the ATM or something. Or no. Should I look it up?
Yeah, go on then.
So, Fiona says, oh, I forgot to take out some money. And there's the shot where we set up. And I take my hand away.
Yeah.
And then we go back to a wider shot of the two of them. And Fiona says, I keep saying Gertrude.
Fionasaurus.
She wants to go to the ATM and she doesn't have any money. And I was surprised by this because, you know, usually it's the case, even though it's not like I've been out buying dinner for anyone yet. But especially in Irish culture, you'd say, no, I'm going to get the dinner. No, don't you be taking money out for the bill.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine that might have been what we were trying to say, but we just didn't follow through with it. So, Fiona, she goes to the ATM.
Who could have guessed? And at that point, that is when a new character pops up.
Yes.
And it is none other than the infamous Robber the dinosaur.
Robber the dinosaur?
The dinosaur robber.
Yeah.
Or just the Robber, whatever you want to call it.
I think we've only ever called him the Robber. Oh, should we check the wiki to see what he's actually named?
Nah, forget about it.
Okay, we'll stop distracting ourselves. Something I wanted to say about the Robber was that he has a very pronounced accent when he first appears. Like listen to it.
Reminds me of the fella from Home Alone, the Robber from Home Alone, if anyone's watched that.
Oh yeah, Joe Pesci going...
Yeah, exactly. Is that not where we got it from, or no?
I don't think so, because he's not allowed to swear actually in Home Alone.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's particularly the way I said, rob all the money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very Irish.
Yeah. I think that's the same for a lot of the accents, if I'm being honest.
We're just being Irishy.
Yeah.
We'll consider other characters' accents when we get to them, but for now...
What's for now?
For now, Fionasaurus is beaten to the ground.
Or maybe we could just say pushed.
Yeah.
Not
just
beaten
knocked
to the
over.
ground. Yeah, exactly. That's a bit not PG. But yeah.
I think it's amazing that she's able to get up all by herself.
I know they're tough. They've been through a lot, as we'll go through as we keep going. But yeah, so the Robber takes all their money right after they were about to grab out the ATM. Apparently, you can't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's just a door.
I know it's just a door, but you have to imagine it. See, our budget was very low, very low. So yeah.
Something we haven't addressed that yet. There's so much imagination in this because largely for the first little while, or even up until now, we're just confined to George's front room.
Yes.
And we're just kind of pointing it here and there, trying to see if it makes sense. Where it's mostly just, carpet. Mm-hmm. Really stupid stuff. It's not stupid though. It's a great series. It's worth analysing. It's worth sticking with this podcast.
It was just that you have to, whenever we say something like, an ATM, you're going to have to imagine that there was an ATM there, or a bus, or a motorbike.
Yes,
or,
yes.
As we're later, they're going to be on a cruise. You're just going to have to imagine that they're on a cruise, okay? That's just a thing.
The last line I have noted here is, I think since there are no policemen around, we should try and catch him.
Yes.
I think that's very sad about, the state of Jurassic City's police force.
Yeah, the law enforcement.
So far we've only seen one officer. Well, we won't say that for now because there could be a fleet of officers that just look all the same because it's played by one dinosaur who's big and
Again,
green.
you're going to have to imagine that there are multiple different police
officers.
Dinos. Yeah. Yes.
That's the end of the episode. They go off and run into the distance. Let's catch this bad guy. And I think this is the start of another squabble, but it gets cut off. We don't need it.
Yeah. So I think I think we did decent like cliffhanger stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
I say there are better cliffhangers coming up.
yeah, but like this was kind of the first cliffhanger. Like they do in a lot of series to like entice the viewers to watch the next one.
I'd say some of the Tractor movies cliffhangers were better.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what the Tractor movie is, it's the first ever series that we did on the channel before this.
We should link to our reaction to it from 2020 in the show notes. So if you want to see our own analysis, it was like our pre-podcast about the Tractor movie, which isn't a puppet video, so we're not going to cover it here. It's largely character introductions. It is all character introductions because we haven't seen these characters before.
Yes.
Gertrudosaurus, she is an orangey dinosaur.
T-Rex, to be more specific.
Yeah. I think there's been an argument about the spelling of her name since the dawn of time.
But it's quite as a lot of dinosaur names, very long, very intricate.
And it doesn't make sense. It hasn't been scientifically agreed upon.
Exactly. It's not a proper species, but yeah.
But I like to do it as Gertrude, as in the full name Gertrude, and then Asaurus with an A. And
if you're wondering why Gertrude, I have a cat called Gertie, and we sometimes nickname her Gertrude. So there you go.
Oh,
do you not know that?
No, I didn't know you had a cat.
That's sad. Anyway, so yeah, it's Gertrude. Anything else about her?
Well, she was in the town doing something. We don't know what she was doing in the town. She was just humming to herself. Oh, right.
It's a city, a metropolitan city, Jurassic City.
Well, you know how we are. We just say town. You want to go to town?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's our culture. If you're listening from far away.
Yeah. Fionasaurus, she was just going shopping.
That's all I have written for her. We don't really learn much about her.
Yeah, we don't know. You can just make up what they were doing. Fionasaurus, we don't know why we called her Fionasaurus. I don't know why. It's just like the old lady name. Typical, like...
Not even an old lady name, I don't really think. Like,
I don't know, yeah, it's just suitable.
Maybe I got it from Shrek and Fiona.
It just suits her, I don't know why. It just suits the dinosaur, anyway.
The bus driver, I think he's a creep.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind, but no. Like, I don't think we imagined him to be creepy in any way when we actually, like, were playing him. But now that we're looking back on it, just now, we're kind of realising it.
Yeah.
But, anyway, the robber.
Well, we only get a brief impression of him. He's got an accent, like we've noted, and he would push an old lady onto the ground to get to the money.
Exactly. He's probably had a life of crime for a long time.
That's all we have on the robber, and that's all we have on Jurassic City. Episode 1, The Robbery.
So, yes, exactly. So, if you're watching this on the day it was released, tune back in tomorrow for hopefully the second, where we talk about the second episode of Jurassic City, up until the final one, 5 episodes. So, yeah. Thank you for listening. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap up?
The next episode is called The Chase Begins. So, we'll be back when the chase is on.
Exactly.
Bye for now. Thanks for listening to Stringing It Along.
This episode's notes were written by Alex.
And it was edited by George.
If you enjoyed the show, give us a positive rating on your podcast platform of preference.
Follow or subscribe to the show as well if you feel like being notified about new episodes.
If you're craving even more String It Along, you'll find a link to all our socials in the description.
Lastly, you can contact the show with thoughts on future videos being covered at stringingitalong@gmail.com.